Brendan,
Hi.
back to the grindstone in Scottish football. A big referee meeting up in Perth this evening. First question, Brendan, are you going to it, and if so, what are you hoping to get out of it tonight?
Yes, I'm going. Yeah, it was one that has been arranged, obviously, I suppose after the last game of the season, so or before the break. But yeah, I think it's just probably the communication really between the referees and the managers, and probably just trying to get some clarity on one or two items. I think the agenda's obviously been set by the Referees Association and the Federation, so we'll go and like always, it's good to communicate, and then there'll be a positive action from it, I'm sure, afterwards.
Are there any changes in particular that you would like to see for the second half of the season in terms of refereeing or the disciplinary process?
Well, this is what this evening's about, really, just to go and talk it over, and like I say, we all respect it's a very, very difficult job being referees, but you're always looking to improve, whether you're coach or manager, improving players. We want to try and help everyone be better, and so that communication between the managers and the referees and the officials is important. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a really productive meeting.
I understand VAR will obviously come up tonight, and maybe the idea of full-time referees. In terms of those sorts of issues, Brendan, where would you stand on both of those?
I've always been an advocate of the full-time referees. I think it's something that I've said since I've come up here. If the referees are working at the weekend on a Saturday and a Sunday, if they're full time, they can, I'm sure, all congregate on a Monday and analyse and look at their clips and look at the games and have mentors that can help them improve. And of course, I think when you work that hard, and I'm sure the referees, they're part time, and I'm sure they work as hard as they possibly can. But if they're full time and it's your full time job, then you're working hard at your game to improve your game and to be better. That ultimately will give you confidence, and that confidence you can take into your games, and that allows you, with what I would say would be a greater chance to improve on your performance. So it's no different to being a player and even a manager. You're watching and analysing how you work and where you can be better. So I'm sure it's something that I've always said. I think that the level up here of the game is very, very good. Get high profile clubs, a lot of coverage, and I think the referees do the very best. But it'd certainly be something that I would advocate, and I have done since I first came up.
Another big issue at the moment, Brendan, is Spygate. What have you made of that?
Yeah, it was interesting to see that. I seen the word cheating being used, but I think it's a bit strong. I think Marcelo Bielsa mentioned about the culture of where he's from. Doesn't make it right, but of course it's something that probably has gone on for numbers of years. But I think he's explained it and explained his reasons for it. I'm sure Frank wouldn't have been overly happy with it, but I think in the current game there's probably more opportunities for teams to get out through agents and through players within. So, but yeah, I did see it when I was away.
Has things like that been going on since you've been in the game?
I'm not so sure. I think it's something that there's always teams will always try to find an edge of where you can find out. But there's so much analysis now in the game and so much preparation that goes in from coaches and managers that it'd be very surprising if you didn't know the team or have a good idea of what the team is going to play. So, but listen, Marcelo Bielsa is an outstanding coach, someone that I have admired for a long, long time. And like I say, his methods, his ways are well documented, and how successful he's been. So, but I think it's, like I say, he's explained his side on it, and it moves on.
Brendan, can I ask the new signings, how have Voice fitted in, and how are they gelling with the squad at the moment?
Yeah, very good. Oliver and Timothy obviously joined us in Dubai, and it was great for them to bond with the players, on the field and off the pitch. So that's proved invaluable for us. And like I said, over the course of this 6 months, I'm sure we'll see them improve and develop as young players. But they both settled in very, very well. to the squad. Young Bayo was obviously still going through his paperwork process and will hopefully join us somewhere towards the end of the week. He's still a bit away. His last playing and training was around about the 8th of December, so he's going to be a little bit of time once that clearance comes through. So, but it's great to have them on board, all three young talents with very big potential, and it'll be great to nurture that over the next 6 months.
How would you assess the transfer window so far? Celtic 3 players in. Are you looking to maybe get more out, get more in? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think there'll be movement both ways. I would suggest between now and the end of the window. I think it's one where naturally we've a big squad of which some players want to play. I think I said that before the break, that there'll be players that'll go out just to find the game time. The fixture list between June and the end of December is obviously full, so there's lots of players getting lots of games. But of course, that will lighten over the second part of the season, and naturally, just players will want to go and play. You know, guys that are experienced players want to go out and play, and young players that are needing to get that game time, they will also look for games. So I think it's something that will take place naturally, and hopefully we can still do some more business as well.
Brendan, Celtic made an inquiry regarding Scott McTominay.
Listen, there's lots of speculation around players and everything else, so I wouldn't comment on any player that we've asked about.
Is he a player that you admire? I think there's a lot of potential. You were talking about young players there.
Yeah, he's a very good young player. I think when he broke into the scene at Manchester United, I think he showed that. You know, he's fantastic talent. But there's nothing more to say on it.
You were talking about players going out. Is somebody like the likes of Lewis Morgan, Scott Allen, are they guys that might go out on loan or potentially leave in this window?
Yeah, boys that will look to get games. Scott Allen's it's been really unfortunate for him here, really, in his time. You know, he's a player that I've really liked. Unfortunately, when Scotty went out on loan, the team here had done very, very well, as did he when he was out. Did very well, and obviously come back to here in the summer, where after the team had sort of two seasons of real success. So it's been very difficult for him to break in. Nothing to do with his training. His attitude's been first class. How he trains, how he works. He's a good boy. But he's at the age now where he just wants to play football. So there's been some inquiries for him. So we'll see how that develops. And likewise with Lewis and a number of our other players. So I've spoke to them in terms of them getting the game time that they would want, and that's something that may happen over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Have they been inquiries from teams in Scotland or in England or both?
Both.
Is there a preference of where you would like to see somebody like Lewis Morgan go in terms of how he develops?
No, I think it's just about getting games in their legs, and obviously at the highest possible level they can. But like I say, there's been a number of inquiries. But we'll assess them when they come in, and obviously we'll speak to the player as well, because it's important. It's the player's career also. You know, they need to feel comfortable with whichever club they go to, or they might find themselves that they would still want to stay, you know, for another 6 months and continue. But every player I've spoken to in terms of where they're at and maybe what it is they need or whether they're going to move on, but each individual case is different.
Are you more content with the way this transfer window's gone as well? Is it a calmer transfer window in terms of being able to control things and who's coming in, who's going out?
It certainly was when we were in Dubai. It's a lot calmer over there. Summer it was difficult. I think it was well documented. We lost a number of our players that had been with us for a couple of years, and some real quality left the building, and unfortunately we weren't able to replace that. But listen, as soon as the market finished and closed, we got on with it. It took us a wee bit of time to get going, but then we got into a rhythm again and went right the way through. So we hope that we can improve, and we have with the 3 young players that we've brought in. And like I said, we can do some more business. You know, I'm very confident what we have in the building. You know, by the end of the January, we'll be very strong. You know, we've got winners that are here, and we've brought in some young potential, and we'll hopefully see that flourish over the next 6 months as well.
What have you made about the speculation linking you with a move to Leicester?
Yeah, someone mentioned it to me yesterday, so I don't think it's the time of the year. Ronnie, where players and managers you get linked with clubs and whatnot. So for me, my only concentration's here at Celtic. You know, Leicester, as we've seen over the last few years, and the incredible journey that they've been on as a club, and obviously the unfortunate circumstances that they've had earlier on in this year. So as I said, it's a fantastic club, but for me, you know, at this moment in time, my concentration is purely on Celtic and looking forward to the second part of the season.
Looking at Airdrie then on Saturday, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, looking forward. We've got a little run of games now at home. You know, in my last 2.5 years here, we've played really, really well at home and some great performances. So we want to start off the defence of the trophy again. And these types of games can always be difficult, especially on the back of a break. But we've done our work and analysed Airdrie, and obviously we'll look forward to the game on Saturday evening and looking to get into the next round.
Brendan, on this you said some players are actually going to come and go, but as you say, it's the time of the year where a number of your top players are going to get linked, guys like James Forrest and Olivia Cham, guys that are key to what you're doing here. Is your message to potential suitors, don't bother?
Well, like we've seen over the course of the time here, and you know, Celtic's a club where these will attract top players, and young players will come in and they'll get better, they'll improve, and of course that will always attract interest. So you can't stop that. But that's something that will be with the club. You know, there's always going to be interest, especially with, you know, Celtic's model in terms of bringing in young players, you know, that are probably undervalued, and they come in and they improve and develop, and of course they can go on to other clubs and other leagues where they can earn more money. So I think that's always going to be the case. But for us, our concentration is very much on the players that are here, make them better and improve them, and that will always lead to people maybe looking at them and being interested in them. But our focus is always to try and keep them here, unless there's something that will take them away.
In terms of your strike force being bolstered, where Edward and Bayo, when he's up and running, how many of them do you see as natural nines? How many do you see playing across?
Well, I think we've got, in terms of natural, the young Bayo was a natural striker. That was important, that we brought someone in who, that was his profile. He was a striker and is a striker, and his goal scoring record of recent shows that. So he's a natural 9, as is young Hodgson. Plays in a different way. You know, he's more loose and comes underneath and moves a bit more. But again, if you look at his goals record, he scores goals. And then we've got other players that can play there. You know, the likes of Oliver can play there with his pace and power, brings something different to it. But again, learning the role as a striker. You know, he came up as a winger, Ollie, and burst onto the scene with this incredible talent. But now it's the opportunity for him to come here and develop that talent. And he can play off a side, or he can play through the middle, as can young Timothy Weah. So there's certainly more options for us. And where we were limited, you know, just before the end of the break, we've now got guys that can play up there.
What's the update on Kieran Tierney, Brendan?
He's still unavailable. He's just working with the medical team just to see this issue and how long it's going to go on. But he's still injured at the moment.
Is it something that can be dealt with just through treatment, or?
Hopefully, I think that's what we're assessing, giving it a bit of time, and then rescanning and seeing if there's improvement on it. So yeah, it's just something we have to wait and see over time.
Any update on Scott Brown's future?
No, nothing new to add, other than I had a real good long chat with him this morning on it. You know, giving him a wee bit of time and just reflecting where he's at, but there's nothing new to add.
Anybody need to be turned back in the squad for?
Yes. Yeah. He's been back in training and looking very good, very strong. So that's great news for us.
Any update at all on Lee, how he's getting on?
No, just obviously the club are working very closely with him and very hard, and he's making good progress. So he's he's training and working, and which is important for his health as well. So, but nothing new to add.